It's quite difficult to contain my smile. We have here the one and only Leonardo Officina Italiana Urushi Essenza Nashiji Ignis, a fiery PenVenture exclusive fountain pen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm your host from PenVenture. Welcome to a new fountain pen overview. And it's been some time since we haven't had a PenVenture exclusive. And this one, it's going to be the one that sets this summer so hot. Ignis. We tried to make something super awesome with this PenVenture exclusive fountain pen in collaboration with Leonardo Officina Italiana and our Urushi artist PenTeo. It is difficult to grasp, but this project and everything that we have as a result of it, it took years because my quest to get a Leonardo Officina Italiana exclusive Urushi line started sometime around 2020. So a long time ago. Went with the idea with Leonardo Officina Italiana, specifically with Salvatore Matrone, and to present him the possibility of creating something like this for Leonardo. And I have right here a very interesting look back into Urushi quest of Leonardo Officina Italiana and how I was able to come from this first edition all the way up to something like this. The first two pens right here mark the beginning quest of Leonardo Officina Italiana into Urushi, and I'm super proud because I was the person that initiated this quest for them to actually create something in Urushi, and we started with a PenVenture exclusive that we did in collaboration with Michael from Nashiji Studio. So these two pens right here are Momento Zero Grande fountain pens, and back in the day they were not pistons. So let me show you something super cool. This is a captured converter. We asked for Leonardo Officina Italiana to provide us with their platform for the Momento Zero Grande in ebonite, and from that point on, we made these two fountain pens. It was a limited edition exclusively sold by PenVenture of only 9 fountain pens. We had Aka Tamenuri and Midori Tamenuri. We were able to show Leonardo Officina Italiana the potential for something like this. As we elevated the whole collection, Leonardo Officina Italiana decided to actually create from scratch a specific and unique shape for this collection, to say so, of Urushi fountain pens. And this marked the birth of the Leonardo Essenza shape, which is this one, flat at ends. This is something that we used in the beginning in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, together with PenTeo, who is a Romanian Urushi artist based outside of Romania, and we created the Aka Tamenuri, this beautiful fountain pen, which even today it's very popular and sought after. Moving forward, we had the Cinque Verde, which marked our 5th anniversary. This beauty right here, it's Midori Tamenuri. It is not completely polished, so it's a sort of a satin finish. In 2024, also together with PenTeo, we created a limited edition exclusive, only 4 pieces, retailed by PenVenture, and it's this beauty right here, a black fountain pen with this gorgeous technique which implies the use of precious materials like gold and silver, speckles and rodden, and this was the Great Void. It is one of those fountain pens which still today marks something incredible as a result that we were able to obtain together with Leonardo Officina Italiana and PenTeo. Let's discover together the 6th member of the Leonardo x PenVenture Urushi collection. This is the presentation box. It's going to be delivered in this Alcantara Leonardo Officina Italiana box with an ink, and right here the fountain pen sits safely waiting for you inside this pouch. And let's get our first impressions on this gorgeous beauty. What you see right here, it's an elegant Urushi Essenza shape, which is the flat ends model of Leonardo Officina Italiana, designed exclusively for this kind of a project. Looking at this creation, I couldn't pick a better framework for something like this. I love the shape. It is flat at ends. I love the fact that we don't have any trim elements. I don't like to put specific metal next to urushi and to drill this very nice coating of urushi and to add metal on top. So I just want to have a plain, beautiful constructed fountain pen, which is aesthetic, gorgeous, and it can reflect specific attributes for urushi techniques. And in this case, it is one of those fountain pens which screams elegance, beauty without too much flash, to say so. Although it has this speckles of silver in the urushi layers, and we're going to discuss the technique and everything that the urushi artist went into putting on this fountain pen. I believe it is demanding your visual attention, but it does that without screaming too much, if I could say so. Let's zoom in and let's have a look at this impressive creation. The Nashiji-nuri technique implies the use of silver and gold speckles, which are evenly distributed throughout a wet urushi on a surface of an object, in our case a fountain pen, and the urushi artist puts these speckles at different layers inside this coating of urushi. And when you sand it every single layer, you let more of those speckles to be seen. And the technique, it is emulating the speckled surface of the pear fruit. This is something which the urushi artist PenTeo captured to a very, very nice interpretation on our design. So you see right here a very evenly distributed silver speckles inside the urushi coating. The base layers are red. Why? Because I love red. Translucent layers of urushi are applied on top, so you see the speckles of silver looking like gold, and in some places it's more vivid as silver, and in some areas it's like gold. And this is because the distribution of this speckles of silver are at different layers. So the more closer you are to the top, the more of the silver color you see, and the more lower you are with the speckles, the more of the red and honey-like color of the transparent urushi on top makes that speckle look like gold. So it is very intricate. It is a technique which it is not my first time seeing it, because this is my Danny Trio Nashiji-nuri fountain pen, which has the silver speckles, and this is done in green, and this is gorgeous, gorgeous. I love this fountain pen. I own this fountain pen for the better of 6 or 7 years, and this is where I've developed the taste for such a technique. Let's dive and analyze all of the details of this creation. Every single line of it, it's well polished, it is well proportioned. The urushi artist PenTeo takes by hand each of these fountain pens and makes sure that the surface is evenly sanded and every single edge is prepared to receive the urushi treatment. Prior to the applying of the urushi lacquer, everything is done by hand by PenTeo. So every single thread, every single line, every single edge is inspected, and then using sandpaper and abrasive paper, it is subdued and made in order to have the urushi sit on it even. Areas like this, or the edges of the cap and the piston, all of those are by hand adjusted, or better said, they are made in order to have them evenly meet one to the other when the urushi goes on top. Because when you apply urushi on something which is made to final proportions, it is growing in thickness. So you may find yourself having a fountain pen which is not even when it is capped, or when one of the edges meets with the other one. It may be a different level. No, every single pen is done by hand for this project by PenTeo. A lot of layers went into creating this beautiful fountain pen, and each of them needs sanding and curing in between. So you actually have to put these pieces into a wood box with a vessel with water inside that offers a specific humidity in order to cure the urushi lacquer. If you cure it without the moisture, it's going to cure faster, and that may result in cracking. Or if it's going to be damp, when you apply another layer, you can just ruin the piece all completely. So this is something which takes a lot of patience. I'm super proud in working with PenTeo because he has a lot of experience, and these fountain pans often are just simply wiped completely of Urushi and redone, and he takes a huge amount of time and patience in making sure that each of them look the same with the other, and you have a collection which looks uniform at the end phase of the project altogether. So this shape is one which resembles something like a Denichiro Mikado, and I have here my Mikado, so you can see it side by side. They are a little bit different, but altogether I believe that the Leonardo Essenza Urushi, it's a little bit more practical size-wise, at least. Uncap the fountain pen, and we have one complete turn of the cap, and this is a smooth uncapping motion. You don't have that gritty sand-like uncapping. Why? Because the threads are by hand polished by PenTeo, and Urushi lacquer right here is applied on the threads of the fountain pen. As a nib, we couldn't pick a better candidate than the Leonardo Lafenis 14 karat gold nib in 8. I went with a silver color on it because I believe it is resonating with the silver speckles that we used for this Urushi lacquer. The nib altogether has that motif from Leonardo Officina Italiana with the logo stamped Leonardo 14 karat, and right here at the base we have the nib size. These fountain pans are available in the following nib sizes: extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and a stub. New launched recently, we have the extra fine from Leonardo Officina Italiana and the double broad. Turning the fountain pen like this, we can see that the Leonardo Officina Italiana Essenza Urushi is using a ebonite feeder, and it is the new streamlined ebonite feeder. I love this because this ebonite feeder hugs the nib a little bit better, so it copies the contour, as you see closely, and gives out a more elegant look and feel towards this nib. Of course, ebonite offers a rich and consistent ink flow, and every single nib is hit set towards the ebonite feeder. This is not a screw-in nib unit, so basically the housing of the nib is glued in the section, and the only way that you can remove the nib is by extracting it from the section. It is friction fit together with the ebonite feeder, but we don't recommend you doing that. And we have right here the section, hourglass shape, and it is magic. I love the size of this section. This is not too big, this is not too thin. It is exactly what I feel that this fountain pen requires. Let's move a little bit higher, and we have right here the threads. These threads right here are covered in Urushi lacquer themselves. This offers a very smooth capping and uncapping. A lot of thought went into this specific piece, and we took every single corner, every single edge, and we tried to obtain something which is practical, visually impressive. It is something which you just find reasons why to reach and to use, and you find reasons why you want to have something like this in your collection. This edge marks the beginning of the barrel. The thickest point is right here. Then it starts to go down in diameter all the way towards this line right here, which marks the finishing of the barrel of the fountain pen. If we untwist the piston knob, we're gonna be showcasing the piston filling mechanism. Yes, a Urushi creation with a piston filling mechanism. This is the sort of a mix in between modern and traditional, modern technology with traditional arts like Urushi lacquer, and I just love to have a fountain pen which is practical. Most of the Urushi fountain pens that I have besides me, those are eyedropper. In some cases from Sailor, for example, they are converters, and I just wanted to have something from Leonardo Officina Italiana, which is a piston. It's a high volume piston, 1.5 milliliters of ink, and you can take it apart using that Leonardo tool if you want to maintain, grease the inner works of that piston, so it's practical just as well. Let's put the piston knob back, and as usual with my Urushi Leonardo fountain pens, the limited edition number, it is hand painted with Urushi, in our case red by PenTeo. in Roman numbers. And this is an analogy towards everything that means Leonardo Officina Italiana and the traditional arts of the past times, the Urushi lacquer. And I chose to use Roman numbers, and this is unique to us and PenVenture. This is something which I take great pride in, and I just love to see small little details like this. Always with these numbers, they are opposite towards the nib. So if you turn the fountain pen like this in writing, you don't see the number of the limited edition. They are aligned with the feeder. Right here, we have a limited edition number of 13 fountain pens, of which one is my personal, which I cannot wait to showcase sometime into a shelf, into my store, and to see the legacy and everything that I created side by side, Leonardo Officina Italiana and other manufacturers. This is the beautiful Leonardo Urushi Essenza Nashiji Ignis. Fire. And I believe it is fire, this fountain pen. Yeah, it's fire. The fountain pen capped measures 150 millimeters, uncapped like this, 140 millimeters. Capped, the total weight of the fountain pen is 45 grams, and uncapped in writing, also inked, is 35 grams. This is an oversized fountain pen, but it is light. This is a fountain pen that you can use daily, although you need to have a little bit more care regarding how you take it outside of the office environment or outside of your home. With you traveling, you need a pen sleeve, but in use on a piece of paper, this needs to feel light, nimble. It needs to create a desire for writing. And I believe the size, the look, the feel of it does that with flying colors. Price-wise, this is a collection which is priced at 1,300 euros, no VAT for a single piece. Most of them are either reserved and or purchased. Some of them are available. The ones that are going to be available, they're going to be listed on our website, and you just may put something like this side by side other Urushi Essenza fountain pens that we have from previous years from us, or this marks the beginning of your Urushi quest side by side pen venture and together with Leonardo Officina Italiana. Let's check how it's writing. This gorgeous size 8 14 karat gold nib. One of the best ways to maximize on your writing experience is to use a quality paper. And in our case, we're going to use the Tsubame notebooks. And this is a very, very nice choice of paper. I'm going to dip the fountain pen in some ink, and we're going to check it just as it came from the box. So this is no adjustment altogether. I'm trusting Leonardo Officina Italiana, and every single piece of this collection and all of the fountain pens that you have available on PenVenture, they can be checked, and they are checked every single time that you make a purchase with us. I personally check every single nib. If you request specific details or instructions regarding how you want the fountain pen to write in the order notes, I'm going to adjust those fountain pens according to what you instructed us. Leonardo Urushi Essenza Nashiji Ignis. Ink Leonardo red. Nib 14 karat size 8, and this is a medium point. Now let's check the wetness. I would say moderate to wet, not too wet. For a medium, I would say that this is conservative. I would have made it a little bit more wet, but keep in mind, when you do a fountain pen to write more wet, it always makes the line a little bit more thicker, and it may be closer to a broad. Let's check some normal figure of eights. And I would say that this is a skinny medium or a medium which is close to the European standard as of mediums. Flex, please don't press on this too hard. This is not a flex nib, and it should be just used carefully, gently, without too much pressing on it. But if you do press, you're gonna have a little bit of line variation. And yeah, it may confer some character towards your writing. Reverse. It's a nice writer. It can take the nib from a medium to a fine. Now for the famous sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So the experience talk is one which is very, very pleasant. I would put it 9.2 out of 10. Although after so much years, I'm just looking specifically to have something from the writing experience with the nib. And this is why I adjust every single nib that I have on a personal fountain pen. But as you see right here, this is a fountain pen which exhibits no signs of hard starts, no skipping whatsoever. It has a hint of feedback, pleasant feedback, maybe a little bit more than I personally like. And this is why I do believe that if I would be to own something like this, I would have take this nib to something a little bit more smoother, and I would have been shaping that tipping to be a little bit more forgiving as you turn it left or right. Of course, you can ask about those details in the order notes, and I can adjust the specific nib that you want to get. It's a bummer because I don't have the extra fine point yet, and the double broad, I would have wanted to try one of those. Hopefully, I'm going to be having enough extra fine points to have one for myself just as well, because I want to try it. And in a future video with Leonardo Officina Italiana, we're going to check those nibs in person, and I'm going to give you my own personal opinion regarding those. This is the Leonardo Urushi Essenza Nashiji Ignis, the PenVenture exclusive, one of 13 pieces. Why? Because 13 is my favorite number, and in my daily life, everything that has to do with me is either 3, 33, or 30. 13 fountain pens, of which one is mine, so you are part of a very select group of individuals together with me that owns a piece like this. So let's put everything aside and let's conclude. Projects like this require a very deep understanding and to have a very good knowledge in regards of how things work and how people work, because we had to take the idea towards Leonardo Officina Italiana, show them the potential for a collection like this, not specifically this one, but in 2021. So we've been working to have something as a platform for Urushi projects from 2021, a long time ago. Once this concept was understood and it was took seriously in consideration by Leonardo Officina Italiana, we had to side with an Urushi artist which works carefully, patiently, and among other things, is able to not make one of these fountain pens as a commission towards me. He is able to do this for 13 fountain pens for many collections and to produce a 13 collection fountain pen which looks uniform, because hand work may result in some pieces which are more red, more black, more different. No, I just want to keep a standard. PenTeo understood that very well, and I'm super happy of our collaboration with him. And then we at PenVenture, we want to preserve and to offer our platform as a place where people like PenTeo can express themselves. So what we have today, it's a collaborating effort which spanned throughout the years with us, with Leonardo Officina Italiana, with PenTeo. And what you get today is the refined version of all of that effort. Super happy, super proud of this outcome. A very limited pieces number is left, and they're going to be available on PenVenture. I'm going to leave you a link down below, and thank you for your support throughout these years. Let me know if you own a piece of this collection of what we have. Be proud and use the comment section down below. Let us know if those fountain pens are still with you, if you enjoy them, how are they after so many years. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. If you want to help with the growth of the PenVenture YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. It is very easy. If you're not subscribed, just click there, turn the notification bell on, and you will be notified whenever we have new content. If you want to check out more of my previous content, I'm going to leave you this right here. You can click and enjoy. As always, I'm your host from PenVenture. I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care. Stay safe. Ride on. Bye-bye.